Welcome to episode 1 of season 2, Small Town Big Screen. Welcome back, everybody. I'm one of your hosts, Manny Manuel.
And I'm Kyle Robertson.
It's good to see you again, my friend.
It's good to be back. You'll see a set change, a little vibrancy. You be the judge. Let us know if you like the new set. If you like the old one better, we can always go back. Give us that feedback. Give us that fan interaction. We love it. Thank you so much to everyone who supported the first season and sent us messages after it came out. We really appreciate you guys and your support. And we hope to be worthy of continued support with the second season, a la a little bit of set change.
Yeah. All right, let's kick this off. We are reviewing the film 2012. I gotta look at my notes. All right, 2012. It was released on November 13th, 2009, directed by Roland Emmerich, written by Roland Emmerich and Harold Closser, starring John Cusack, Amanda Peet, Chiwetel Ejiofor, and Woody Harrelson. Has a Metascore of 49 and a Letterboxd score of 2.5. Filming locations: Kamloops, BC, Ashcroft, BC, Cache Creek, BC,
Oh, yeah.
Victoria, BC, Vancouver, BC,
That's right.
Burnaby, BC, and numerous other locations outside of Canada that we don't care about. The plot: a frustrated writer struggles to keep his family alive when a series of global catastrophes threatens to annihilate mankind. Kyle, have you seen this film before?
I have seen this film before.
Okay.
How about you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. What are your non-spoiler thoughts on 2012?
So 2012 came out in 2009.
Yeah.
I was the ripe old age of 10. And so I was in, what grade? 5? I was in grade 5 for this movie.
Mm-hmm.
And I was also 1, 2, 3 in grade 8 for actual 2012 in middle school. And to say I was a little concerned.
Oh, come.
I'm just kidding. I like as a kid, you know when you're like, even now I get this. You're not like legitimately concerned about something, but then you lie down to go to sleep and you're like, yeah, but what if?
Yeah, 100%.
But what if,
100%.
It's crazy, but what if? I apologize in advance. A really common one it's setting me off right now for me is, what if I handle this piece of paper and I get a paper cut on my tooth? It sets me off so completely. It's a completely illogical thing. Why would I have the paper so close to my mouth? It's killing me right now. For those that are listening, I recommend you go look at the video because I feel like I'm physically squirming and revolting a lot. I hate it. I know it can't happen. But the second I think about it, I'm concerned that it'll happen. And it just sets me on edge. I might be on edge for the rest of the episode.
That's messed up.
Yeah. And 2012 was one of those.
Okay.
Where it didn't set me off like this, but I'd go to sleep and I'd be like, what if I die tomorrow? What if everything is just done tomorrow?
Interesting.
And of course, 13 years later, that didn't happen. And the time of release for this, 14 years later.
Yeah.
There's a little peek behind the curtain for you there.
Oh, right. Yes. Yeah. Right. I keep forgetting. This is out 7 months later.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So all that being said, I didn't watch the film on initial release. I didn't watch it in theaters. And actually, I think that would be a really good movie to watch in theaters. It's got all the big set pieces. It's got really good effects, really good cinematography. I enjoyed the performances. I actually enjoyed the writing a lot more than I thought I was going to on this watch. I think that this is a popcorn movie. It's a blockbuster. Nothing wrong with that. I didn't go into it expecting some kind of emotional wrecker of a movie or emotional wrecking ball of a movie. I had a good time. I enjoyed it. The the cast that they've assembled is a cast of people that I generally enjoy when I see them, especially John Cusack. I'm a big John Cusack guy. I have fun. I also like doing the research for this. I didn't realize how many Roland Emmerich movies I'd seen. I kind of thought that like I just didn't know him until doing this research. And I was like, oh, hey, this is like, he does a lot of these blockbuster movies. He does a lot of big money stuff.
Yes, he does.
So that was kind of fun. Yeah, those are my thoughts. There's not like anything crazy deep, but it's fun.
I hated this movie when it came out in 2012.
Shocker, hey?
In 2009. I hated
2009.
it. I hated it.
Isn't it crazy, though, that it came out in 2009?
Yeah.
Shouldn't it have come out in 2012?
Yeah, but they were worried the world was going to end.
Oh, that's right.
They had to get their money.
Yeah.
I hated this movie back then, and I was not looking forward to watching it. And I was pleasantly entertained.
Nice. Oh, I'm so glad.
I didn't hate it as much.
Yeah.
There's a lot of things that I would change about this movie.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, sure.
A lot. They made very poor choices. Hold on. What am I thinking of? Oh, the reason I'm going to talk about this now is I'm going to completely spoil a movie that came out recently. But enough people love this movie that I don't care. And enough people, by the time this comes out.
Oh, yeah. It'll be a while.
Yeah. So I'm going to spoil Happy Gilmore Tour 2.
Okay.
I was watching it with one of my best friends, Chards. And we were watching it. I was only watching it because he wanted to. I knew I would eventually watch it, but I'm not an Adam Sandler fan. They did not need to kill the wife. They didn't need to do that. It made no sense to kill her in that movie.
Interesting.
None. It's stupid and dumb.
The group that I watched it with thought it was really funny and appreciated that plot line.
That is stupid. There's no reason to kill that character.
Okay.
None. What I'm getting at with this is that there are way better ways to make the decisions in this movie than what they decided to do. This movie is a total popcorn movie, like we discuss later on with Warren. No, Vaughn.
Warren.
Vaughn Warren. The movie's way too long. Way too long. You could cut out a lot of this movie and trim it into something much tighter and more enjoyable. It is just a movie. Put it on, grab your favorite snacks, click, turn your brain off, and you'll be entertained, and then you will never think of this movie again. And that is one of the great things about film, is you can have movies like that. There's nothing deep about this movie. It does try to say some things. Don't. Roland, that you're not that type of filmmaker. Give us spectacle. This is one of the movies that gives you a reason to go to the theater. This was great to see on the big screen. But when I saw it on the big screen, I was hating every second of it because I didn't like it. It's totally fine. I had a pleasant time. I didn't hate it as much as I did the first time.
Okay.
I still think that they made a lot of very poor decisions.
Okay.
And I plan on discussing them later on.
Well, let's get into it. I will say,
okay.
Roland Emmerich trying to make a point through an actor like Chiwetel Ejiofor, that works much better because he's such a good actor.
He is incredible.
He honestly like kills the monologues and emotional points of his character in this movie. So you know what? I'm okay with trying to work in some little bits,
sure,
some little points.
Sure.
Yeah.
Should we get to our 5 favorite things?
Let's get to our 5 favorite things. Why don't you start us off?
Okay. Well, my number 5 is a personal favorite. It is one of my favorite lines in the history of humankind.
Wow.
Yeah. And it's stupid and dumb. Don't even worry about it.
Okay.
It is the cameo of Michael Buffer saying, "Oh, let's get ready to rumble." Love it.
I cannot believe that's on your list, man.
Absolutely love that line. Every single time I hear it, It makes me happy. That is my number 5.
I'm happy for you.
Thank you.
Yeah, coming right out the gate with a stinker. My number 5.
Who cares?
Who does care?
Not me.
Let us know. My number 5 is actually the writing.
What?
Yeah,
What?
because I
No.
yeah
No.
yeah.
Moving on. Moving on. There's no way. There's no way.
The movie is overlong, 100%. However, I think that when you're writing, like for a blockbuster popcorn movie, it's good writing for that. And I enjoyed what they did with the writing, bringing us to all these places, building up all these set pieces, building up this world. It was fun. I really like the characters. Like, I think the characterization in this film is really good. They're just fun. I just had fun. I'm sorry that I had fun, Manny.
Apology accepted.
And there is some dialogue that I liked. Like, I know there's
Yeah,
problems
like, let's
with
get
it.
ready to rumble.
Like, I know there's problems with the writing. I understand. But I enjoyed it. So, what can I do? You're number 4, Manny. Get that disappointment off your face.
My number 4 is the special effects.
Wow.
The special effects are really well done.
Mm-hmm.
I was actually very interested to see how they held up for a movie that is, what are we looking at? 16 years old?
Yes.
No.
Once this comes out, 17.
17.
Yeah.
16, 17 years old. They hold up really well.
Yeah.
And this is a movie heavy in special effects.
Very.
So I found the moments that were CGI heavy to be believable.
Mm-hmm.
And I want to give them their props. It's definitely not the writing. You're number 4.
My number 4. It's Kamloops. And just the area. Similar to your experience on Power Rangers, I just had so much fun seeing our area on film. And I went into this thinking, like, a lot of the movies that we covered, especially like the big movies, the blockbusters, Kamloops is a very small part of them.
Except for Power Rangers.
Except for Power Rangers. We are not a small part of 2012. We are a very major part of the film's runtime. And so I thought opposite going in. I was like, oh, we're going to be one scene and done. No, we play 3 or 4 different countries and we do them for a long time. I just had a lot of fun. There's a couple of places where I hike that I got to see on film.
Oh, okay, there we go.
Yeah.
Okay.
So there was like a connection
Gotcha.
where I could be like, okay, I know exactly where that is. And I've been there, and that's John Cusack and Woody Harrelson standing there. That's pretty cool. So yeah, I had fun with that, and getting to see all of the different ways that our landscape could be used, like playing believably as Tibet, India, and Yellowstone, is cool. I had fun with it. So that's my number 4.
So I was going in hoping to see that.
Mm-hmm.
The only, like, I wanted to put that on my list, and the reason it's not on my list is that if I didn't know that was filmed in this area, I wouldn't have been able to tell you it was filmed in this area. It looks, there's so many, Kamloops is so diverse in its landscape that a lot of times when I'm watching movies, I think they're filmed in Kamloops.
Oh yeah, that happens to me a lot. Part of the problem too, though, is we sell really well as California, and obviously California makes a lot of movies. So it's like, sometimes it's hard to tell if it was filmed in California or if we were California.
Yeah. So the things that you've seen, places that you've been hiking, then that makes sense to me. All the places that they filmed, I couldn't tell you where they are. Like, I wouldn't be able to, like, hey, Manny, you want to take me where they filmed 2012? I'm like, nope.
There's a couple points where I'm like,
Nope.
I know that exact bend on that trail.
I love that for you.
And it's like just some random shot of running through the woods.
Yep.
I'm like, I see you.
I love that.
I see you, movie.
All right.
Anyway, your number 3.
My number 3 is Chiwetel Ejiofor.
Nice.
He's
my number 2,
nice.
by the way.
Oh, perfect. He is spectacular.
Oh, yeah.
He is easily the best performance in this film. Running away.
Oh, yeah.
I completely forgot that he was in this movie.
Yeah.
And as soon as he came on screen, which is right at the beginning,
Yeah.
I was like, oh, I'm in good hands. Thank God.
You felt safe again.
I did. And he's part of the reason that this movie was more enjoyable for me on this watch. Not, well, I can't say that. I was going to say not that other people weren't bad in this movie, because they are. But he was a beacon of hope for me. Not the character, him. I was like, I'm in safe hands.
Yeah.
This is just watching somebody. He's not at the top of his game in 2009. He's on his way.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we still have to wait a few more years for 12 Years a Slave, but other films that he's in, I think he's just one of the best working actors right now, who I think is completely underutilized.
Yeah.
And I was just enthralled. You're right. He delivers great monologues of bad writing and makes it believable. And so that being said, I'm going to slip in a little bit of my problems here.
Okay.
A lot of character choices are bad. And it's one of the things, it's one of those moments that I'm talking about where we're in full spoiler territory, by the way.
Yeah.
So they're on the Ark, and that door won't close.
Yeah.
And there's all the people also trying to get on. And he is literally willing to risk the future of the entire human race for those people. And I get that.
Mm-hmm.
Like, they are thousands of people out there. But you got to make sacrifices, dude. You've already, because of the secret you held, doomed billions of people to death. And I understand that in the last seconds prior to getting away, that maybe you're feeling the guilt because you have faces on them, because you can see them on the cameras.
Yeah.
But dude, that's bad choices right there.
It works out. It works out.
Does it?
Yeah.
Ask Gordon if it worked out.
It's not his fault that Gordon dies. And you know what? While we're just slipping in things, Gordon's death is dumb and unnecessary. And it actually...
We'll get to that.
Okay, thank you.
We'll get to that.
We'll get to that.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you. Moving on.
You're number 3.
My number 3. Actually, I'll just do my number 2.
Because it's Chiwetel.
Exactly. I completely agree and echo everything you've said. He's just like... the only thing I'll add is his dynamic with his dad and the way they do their relationship over the phone.
Mm-hmm.
I loved it.
Yeah.
Like they feel like so closely connected, and the way that they just like the way that they speak to each other and communicate deeply without saying directly, anything. I really appreciated. So, yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So what's your number 3?
My number 3. I wonder what your take is on this. It's John Cusack.
Oh, okay.
I really like him, and I'm finding we have this disagreement a lot where I really like him in movies where you don't like him very much. Yeah, this has happened before. And then when you really like him, I usually agree. I just like him. I think he's a really fun actor. I think he takes fun roles. I like watching him act. So I can't really tell you why. I just do. And I think he's fun in this. He has to run a lot. I was impressed. It's just a lot of moving places, but I think he has like the man who needs to do something right now. He has that role locked down.
I can agree with that.
Really good at it.
Sure.
Yeah. And so seeing him run around and do all this stuff, even though some of the edits don't make sense, some of the cuts don't make sense, one of which is in Yellowstone when he's done talking to Woody Harrelson and they cut to the wide and he's just like at the RV again, which is like not an insignificant hike away. Anyway, I just enjoyed him. I thought he was fun. His dynamic with his kids was fun. I think it's not like my favorite thing I've ever seen him in, but I enjoyed it. I enjoy him. So, number 3.
So my number 2. You're, I like John Cusack. He's fine in this.
Okay.
There's just a lot about that character and the choices.
Yeah.
I can't believe you chose the writing. The writing in this is atrocious. Character decisions are horrible.
I just like, if you're going to make a movie about 2012, I don't think this is the worst writing you could get for it. I think this was pretty good.
Okay.
That's all I'm
Moving on.
trying to say. Moving on. What
moving
are we
on.
at your number 1?
No, my number 2.
Number 2.
My number 2 is the extended action sequence of the initial California sinking into the ocean. The limo ride and plane escape of the family.
Yeah.
Was enthralling.
Yeah.
In the theater.
Oh, I can only imagine.
It's the highlight of the film.
Yeah.
In my opinion. It's the best action set piece. Mm-hmm. They have more like it. They don't meet this level of excitement and craft.
Yeah.
It's so well done. The CGI is spectacular and believable. It is one of the many movie moments that you have to do all the time where you just have to suspend your disbelief that they are the only ones trying to drive away.
Yeah.
Because those streets are fairly empty
Yeah.
in the middle of a huge crisis. But that's fine. I don't think about those kind of things. I'm not looking for realism. Mm-hmm. They're playing within their own rules and they make it work. It's thrilling. It's engaging. It's fun. I love it. It's my second favorite thing.
Nice.
On this film.
Interesting.
What's your number 1?
Can I give you a quick tidbit about that scene?
Yeah.
It won an award for best crazy, what the F scene of the year or something like that.
Okay.
Which I thought was apt.
I can't say that because I would have to look at what other films would have been up that year.
Fair.
Nomination would be fine. A win, I can't. I won't comment on a win.
Okay, reserve your comments, podcaster.
Oh. Yeah, 2009?
Yeah.
Isn't that the same year as The Dark Knight? And Iron Man? If that's the case, then...
It is the same as The Dark Knight.
Yeah. So that's off the top of my head. That's a hard no.
Okay.
That's a hard no.
Whatever.
Okay.
But I also enjoyed that scene, though. It's just I would love to see that in theaters.
It was awesome.
Yeah. So, mine
Your number
1.
Yeah.
Because we skipped around a little bit. My number 1, you already had, but you called it special effects. Mine's the visual effects. I mean, it's expert and it holds up. This movie relies on it, and it's incredibly well executed. You already kind of said it. Took the wind out of my sails, but I was kind of expecting, similarly to I was expecting to like this a little bit on the less side, potentially disliking it even. I was pleasantly surprised. I mean, the special effects hold up and excel. I think they did a great job.
Perfect.
Yeah.
You're not going to like my number 1.
Probably not, no.
You won't.
Okay.
Because I've sandwiched my 5 favorite things with 2 quotes. Number 5 was a quote. Number 1 was a quote. Okay. So my number 1, it was because it was legitimately the only time I laughed.
Okay.
And you're not going to like it.
Okay.
But it's a quote from the Oliver Platt character after the huge global shift.
Yeah.
And the poles have been reversed.
Yeah.
And they go, "Are you telling me the North Pole is now somewhere in Wisconsin? Actually, that's the South Pole." Made me laugh. The delivery and the reactions from everybody was spot on perfect. It is the only laugh in the film for me. Because any other comedic moment did not hit at all. But that sure did. So I guess your writing is a legitimate one because they wrote a good joke as my number 1.
Okay, you know what? I'll take that.
All right.
I'm happy with that as your number 1.
All right.
Okay.
on to what we didn't like.
I feel like an astute listener would know what you're about to say, Manny.
I hated Gordon's death.
Yeah.
I hated it with every fiber of my being.
Yeah.
I had forgotten the majority of this film because I had only seen it once before in theaters in 2009.
Yeah.
So rewatching it, I knew about the limo and plane escape. I knew about the exploding mountain, and I knew about the other plane stuff. I had forgotten a lot. And so as each event was happening and Gordon wasn't dying, I was getting happier and happier because he did not deserve to die. He was not one of those jerk characters where you're hoping they die. There was no romantic chemistry between Amanda Peet and John Cusack. They weren't flirting with each other. She wasn't showing regret. She was in a very healthy relationship with another man. By saying that, it sounds like she was cheating. She had moved on.
Yeah.
She had a new relationship. She was happy. Her kids loved this man.
Mm-hmm.
There was no reason for him to die, and it angered me beyond belief.
The only thing I'll say is that maybe that's the point, is that it comes for everybody kind of thing, but it's unsanctimonious. There's no resolution to the whole idea. Like they copped out. They could have had a really beautiful ending for that family.
Yes.
Where they have to make a step-parent situation work and have that family. And they just copped out. And then they killed him. And then they suddenly made there be romance between them again.
Yes. Out of nowhere. She's all of
nowhere.
a sudden like loving.
Yeah. The only thing I'll say is like,
ooh, am I agree?
In the moment of like, he's about to go potentially save the human race, I understand like the kiss. I do not understand the rest of what happens because he doesn't change as a person over the course of this movie. He's just under constant duress and deals with it and saves his family. Like there was never any question that whether or not he would save his family in a bad situation. So there was no growth. And then all of a sudden she's like, okay, we can be in a relationship now because, you know, the man that I love currently just died.
Yeah. And why did Tamara have to die? She did nothing to deserve death.
I remembered her death very differently. I thought she died to save the dog from when I saw it before. I thought she had time and went back and saved the dog. And I'm to the point where I'm wondering if there was a recut. I was convinced that she could have made it, goes and gets the dog, and then runs out of time but gets the dog out. But not the case. In this case, she saves the kid, and that means she doesn't have time. So she also saves the dog because it's a tiny dog. The death is pointless, and she didn't deserve it. However, again, I think there is a point, like an element of that throughout this movie where people who don't deserve to die because it's a natural disaster. And it's like,
Yeah, but she dies because the door doesn't close, and the thing's being flooded.
Yeah,
and just like also like Sasha's death meant something.
Yeah,
he sacrificed himself. The part that bothered me about Sasha's death, the deaths bothered me because they weren't done properly. Sasha's death, he stayed on the plane to give them time to get off. In my opinion, he shouldn't have been given that hope of where it stops. His sacrifice should have been it doesn't stop and it just goes over the edge because it stops and he takes a sigh of relief that he's like, I did it.
Yeah.
To me, that's mean to do your character in his last moment. When prior to that, he had been nothing but great, even though his boss was a jerk and deserved his death. But his death saved his kid's life. The biggest jerk is the only one that saves somebody.
Well, John Cusack saves his whole family.
Doesn't die.
Oh, yeah, it doesn't die. That's right. Oh.
That's why I don't like the writing.
Nah, now that you're bringing all this up, like I'm starting to regret that.
Yeah. Okay.
But my least favorite thing is very similar. I felt that this movie chose to make big destruction set pieces instead of adding character growth and character moments. The prime example of this for me was, why do we need to go see the Sistine Chapel? Oh my Lord, it wasn't the Sistine Chapel. They cut to Italy and the prime minister dies in an earthquake that topples the Vatican.
Oh,
There we go. We didn't need that. It serves a purpose later on where they bring up, oh, the Italian prime minister is dead. And it's like, you could have just said that, to be honest. I would be okay with you just being like, yeah, a couple of world leaders died in this. That makes sense to me. That moment and that time in this overlong movie should
It's
have been
way too long.
used, yes, to develop the characters. And there are
Character
many,
development.
many moments like that where it was not necessary. And they just chose to do the big, sweeping set pieces.
do you know why?
Money is a blockbuster.
Oh, it's bad writing.
Yeah, I guess it is. You know what?
But yeah, it's a blockbuster.
But this could have actually, like, they could have really, I mean, they give the kid, like the son, a few lines where he's trying to say, and this is kind of a theme throughout, where he's saying, like, you and Gordon could be friends. Like, you guys would get along if you just tried. And then Gordon dies, like, immediately. But it's the same as, like, the old man on the cruise ship tries calling his son to repair their relationship, and the son and his family just die. And it's like, that sucks. And I thought that was good. Like, that is, like, it's not the easy way to write that, you know? But then they cop out of everything when they kill Gordon. Like, the harder, more impressive way to write that is to make that family live on the ark together and figure it out.
Mhm.
And it's significantly more meaningful. But they cop out and completely ruin it. But they also could have made me care a lot more about Gordon dying if that scene in Italy was replaced with a scene that makes Gordon better, you know, or, like, you know, a scene that lets me get to know him. That's what I should say. That lets me get to know that character. So that was my that was my least favorite part.
That's fair. Yeah. All right, let's take a peek behind the curtain with Vaughn Warren. All right, welcome to Peek Behind the Curtain for the film 2012 with our guest, Vaughn Warren. Thanks for joining us, Vaughn.
No problem, Manny. Thanks
Awesome.
for having me.
You bet. Really appreciate the time and the waiting that has been
Yeah.
going on.
Bit of a hectic day, so thank you for your patience.
We do appreciate it. So my first question, Vaughn, is what exactly did you do on the film 2012?
2012, I was a local hire through the TNRD Film Commission as a costume breakdown artist.
Mhm.
I was at that time a permittee in IATSE as a sculptor, and also did prop making and other strange art department tasks. And I gained quite a bit of breakdown experience on Bordertown, Danny Virtue's Bordertown in Maple Ridge,
Okay.
where we made tons of old signage with fake bullet holes and stuff like that. And so when 2012 was coming, they had approximately 2,400 Tibetan costumes that needed to look like they were old and dusty.
Yeah.
And so enter Vaughn. And 6 weeks later, it was on about 6 weeks, 7 weeks.
Wow.
Nice. Did you enjoy doing that?
I enjoyed the paychecks because they were fat. And, it was great. I'm a freelance artist and an art mercenary. So I go out for contracts and get it done and then ride off into the sunset. So it fit my MO perfectly. And, I met a lot of interesting people and learned a lot about breakdown.
Nice. So if what would be your favorite part of doing that job then? Of that particular job?
Eating lunch, sitting between John Cusack and Woody Harrelson was part of the coolness.
Awesome.
For sure.
Nice.
Obviously you're not allowed to treat the stars any differently than anybody else.
Yeah.
And of course I didn't do anything like that, but that's a rush. Learned a lot about those actors and whatnot. Geez, what can I say? I mean, Roland Emmerich is a big money director.
Yeah.
He chucks a ton of cash at everything.
Yeah.
So yeah, everything was like, why have one helicopter with a bunch of cameras when you can have 6 kind of thing. And, so the money was big and huge costume department.
Yeah.
And it was just a very big film. And I was a tiny cog in a giant machine for a while, and it was good.
Totally. Well, what would be your least favorite part of that job that you took?
The drama of in the staff. There was there was a lot of I think it's related to the fact that Roland Emmerich, like I said, is a big money director, so he gets a lot of things going in terms of maybe we'll use this and maybe we won't.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, throwing millions of dollars at sets that, it's like not using it, throw it in the dumpster, bye.
Yep.
Kind of stuff. And people get attached to some of these sets they're making. So there was definitely some of that, which just comes with the territory. It's like, whatever, it's probably the same in any work. I remember one situation where one of the costume designers was making a hat, a very certain hat for Woody Harrelson,
Mm-hmm.
that she spent weeks and weeks and weeks. And I think her and every other, person, women and men, had a crush on Woody. And, they came to dime for this to use this hat, and no, they just used another hat. And she was, devastated.
Of course.
Right? So
Yeah.
that kind of stuff, right?
Yep.
In a way, like, it seems funny and minimalist now, but to her, it was, it was a significant event.
Yeah.
Of course.
So, I mean, whatever. It was, to me, it was just typical film business.
Nice.
Did you get to talk to John Cusack and Woody Harrelson?
Yeah.
Nice.
I mean, on that, I don't know. It just seemed like we were all very close to each other. You went in for craft services. It was lunchtime. It was John over here, and was it what was the president's name?
Danny Glover.
Yeah. They're just like, they were just right there in line for your chicken souvlaki and, sort of thing. And one thing about John Cusack that I never knew until that movie was that in every movie he's in, he wears the same suit and shoes,
Oh,
black running shoes, in every movie he's ever been in. That's all he will wear, is these certain kind of black running shoes.
Interesting.
So you go back and look at all his movies and go, oh my God, it's true. It's like, it's, even if he's in a suit, he's in these black running shoes. So, I don't know if you know about breakdown art. Well, so in 2012, which is obviously a big disaster movie, he doesn't change clothes in the entire movie. He starts in a suit, in his black shoes, and he's a cab driver, if
Limo.
I remember.
Mhm.
Limo, yeah. And he's kind of like down on his luck kind of thing or whatever. And there's a whole sort of story. And but he's in a nice suit, black shoes, and by the end, he's been drowned, shot, fallen down, everything, crashed planes, I think, and all that. So in the trailers with the costumes, there's like, Woody up to this point, all of his suits, Woody from that point to this point, and then each progression of each event that happens to John Cusack. So it was kind of interesting in the continuity department.
I love that.
Yeah, it was cool. Yeah. I learned a lot of breakdown tricks about how to make a brand new garment look like it's the guy's been wearing it for 100 years.
Nice.
Nice.
Did you ever get to meet Roland?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. At the end of the film, or at the end of the production in Ashcroft Cache Creek, he gave everybody a jacket. I didn't wear my 2012 jacket because it's too hot.
Yes.
But I got a beautiful, cool, hyperlight jacket.
Oh,
with
that's awesome.
2012, and he was like, thank you. Big lineup of people, and everyone got a jacket and shook his hand.
nice.
Yeah.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah, it was pretty cool.
And what were your thoughts on the movie itself? Did you ever get to check it out?
I've seen it a couple of times, and of course, you're always like waiting to see what you worked on.
Of course.
And it's like something you put months into is like 8 seconds, maybe.
Yeah, especially with Emmerich.
Totally. So there's the scene where you see the stuff I worked on. There's about 1,000 Tibetans running down a grassy slope in Ashcroft in Tibetan costume.
Mhm.
And every one of those costumes is hand broke by me and a couple other people. And that was sort of the main thing that I was there to do. So yeah, but it's an awesome, I think for a disaster movie, it's awesome.
Nice.
I love the part where the aircraft carrier rolls into the White House,
Yes.
like
Yeah.
I was cheering. I was like, oh, this is best disaster ever.
It's the second time he's destroyed the White House.
Right. You did it on Independence Day.
That's right.
Yeah. But no, he's got a big vision and really cool. I thought it was a pretty cool movie. And, you know, I mean, if you go to a Roland Emmerich movie, you know, that's what to expect. Yeah. What's he doing these days?
I actually can't remember the last film he's done.
Yeah, I can't.
Last thing he did
think
was
of any.
Prometheus.
No, Prometheus is Ridley Scott.
that was
Ridley Scott, yeah.
Sorry, Ridley.
Yeah, that's rough.
That is
I'll
rough.
take a quick peek here and see if I can find out what he's done last.
Anyway, not to get off topic, but yeah, it's not off topic. It's Roland Emmerich.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, it was interesting, and you know the scenes with the motorhome and the exploding Yellowstone volcano was all done in that set, and was really cool to see what they did with that motorhome. Watching from the sidelines, because we could see a lot of that from where we were working on the costumes, and they're like, oh, they're going to do that big scene, let's run over there and watch over the bank and stuff. And there was some really cool stuff done there.
Nice.
And then of course to see later with the CGI, pour about 80 million in CGI at it, it just comes off cool.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well, the last film he did was Moonfall,
Right.
When was that?
Right.
2022.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
wow.
yeah.
Okay.
And then
Pretty cool.
he did Midway before that, which I didn't see.
I never saw Midway either. I did see Moonfall, and it's just like completely ridiculous. But
I never saw it, and nothing about it made me believe that I would like it, so I definitely avoided it.
I do like the eye candy movies, even if the plot and everything is dumb. I like the visuals. I
Yeah,
do,
popcorn movies. You sit down with some popcorn, you turn your brain off.
I do.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that,
Yeah.
right? They're good every once in a while.
Finally, Emmerich too is good at doing those big, crazy ideas and disasters in a way in which you can actually see it happening. I see a lot of directors, they cheap out in that they make it go down so quickly and fast that you know what happened, but you didn't actually really get to see, like the Transformers movies. The fighting in the Transformers movies is so blurred and fast that I can't enjoy it.
I'm with you. I
Yeah.
can't stand base Transformer films.
Yeah. Anyway.
Did you feel the filming of 2012 in this area helped promote the local film industry? Did you feel that there was anything, like, obviously besides local artists like yourself getting hired on and paid, do you feel it helped promote the area in any way?
I don't know specifically if it did or didn't. I can't see how it couldn't. I mean, having Roland Emmerich do anything near you is going to help you. And if as a filmmaker, I think I never heard anything bad about it. I know that if I remember correctly, it was almost 15 years ago, so it was a bit of time. But if I remember correctly, everyone's impression was that they put a lot of effort into keeping everyone happy locally, and the communities and the municipalities and all that. They had major staff.
Awesome.
All they did was cater to the municipalities to be sure they were taken care of, and they blew a ton of cash.
Yeah.
That in itself just does it, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, I remember, I'd like to, I would give kudos to the TNRD Film Commission, because that's directly where I get gigs like that. They come to town and they can look through that database, and they're like, oh, there's this artsy guy who's been there and done it a little bit, and can get things done. He's done some stuff, and we can plug him in there.
Sweet.
That's a common topic when movies get made in Kamloops is, do we have the local crew and talent and artists to accomplish, what the movie needs to do?
Yeah.
Do you think we have that infrastructure here already? And
I think there's
the
more
crew?
here than people know.
Yeah.
I do. Bones of Crows, which I was also on and you were on, apparently. I know. What does my parents have to do with this? But no, seriously. Yeah, you do see it come out in films like that. And I do, just navel gazing, do cruise through the TNRD database to see who is here.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, yeah, we got some scenic painters, I mean, for me, scenic painters, prop making, graphics, art design, vehicle graphics, stuff like that, right? Visual arts. Is my sort of area. So that's where I'm sort of interested in. And yeah, there's quite a few here. Bones of Crows, I mean, they came in and hired me late, and I hired the entire scenic painting crew and managed them and the whole thing on the fly by the seat of my pants. And it was a little hair raising, as they can tend to be, but whatever. It's just a job you do, right? Yeah.
Nice. And I see you've got the shirt on.
Yes, I made this shirt myself.
So
yes,
I wanted to ask.
Shameless promotion.
Yeah, I wanted to ask a little bit about Old Federal, because I think it kind of stands for a lot of things that we're trying to promote here, promoting
good.
local art and
Right
local
on.
artists and
Yeah.
preservation. So
It's not rocket science, you know, we get it. Yeah. Old Federal Studios, cool story. So there's the original downtown of Kamloops is West Victoria. That's where the original downtown was. And, it moved over to where downtown now is, east of First Avenue, but it was originally down in West Victoria. And the center of the original downtown was the old Federal building at 207 Victoria Street West, which was built for the federal government in 1900. Steam engine would pull up in front of this place and throw out the mailbags kind of thing, and it was the original downtown. So that building is still there, obviously, and it has a huge history we could go through. But bottom line is it was purchased in 2015 by MC Squared Developments, and the owner is sitting on the building. He bought it for a song, and I know him, and he's just like, Vaughn, what can you do there just to keep the lights on and keep it occupied? And, we don't need to make a bunch of money on it, but, what can we do to at least cover the bills? And I said, well, I know exactly what we need in this town. And that is low-cost accommodations for artists and art workspace, studio space, gallery space, that kind of thing. It's like an artist collective, an artist-run center or whatever. And he goes, okay, I don't really understand that, but okay, if you can do it, do it. So, he helps with renovations and that kind of stuff. But generally speaking, we have 5 residences there. 5 artists live there now. And we have a sweet little gallery, and we have a wood shop and a sculpture studio and a print shop kind of sign making thing, and a little store. We put in a gallery store because I was quite inspired by Exit Through the Gift Shop by
Nice.
Banksy. I'm
Nice.
quite inspired by that film. And so we put in a gift shop, and we made a couple of bucks, sort of thing. So fun stuff. And it's also cool because it inspires the artists to not just hang paintings on the wall, but make swag and merch and, get some money there. So yeah, that's what we're doing. We've had 3 or 4 good art shows there, and we, like I say, we have some really creative people that live there now and appreciate the funkiness of it, and it's cool.
nice.
Yeah,
Awesome.
check it out on Old Federal Studios Facebook page.
That's it.
Check that out. I mean, all we got is
Yes.
Facebook page. I'm like, oh, Instagram, website. I just check the Facebook page, okay? Because that's to me the most nimble, easy to interface platform where I could share all of our photos and everything, and I don't have to update a website or anything. So yeah, it's working out. It's working out really well. We just had the artist Vortex has been in there for the last while, and then we have the impromptu book festival coming up September 26th, 27th, and 28th, which is going to be awesome. We're launching some local artist books. And then we're looking at doing something for Halloween, and then a pre-Christmas, maybe art show sale kind of thing. And then who knows what else.
Nice.
Yeah.
So my last question I've got, because you're pretty ingrained in the arts community here, from the context of not just movies but all art, what would you say is unique that Kamloops has to offer, both from the physical landscape and also from the culture and the people here?
I think the thing that Kamloops would have that's unique would be its climate. It's got 4 seasons, right?
Yeah.
It is a pretty friendly climate. You can get out there and paint a mural and not get rained on or killed by the, snow or whatever. You can, I don't know, carve outside, and wood carvings. For example, I have a wood carving on the corner in front of Superstore, the river pole that I did
Nice.
years ago. And it does real well sitting there. I think that climate is kind, and that is something that is unique to Kamloops. It's not too hot, it's not too cold. Today it's a little hot, but I think that's something that is unique. Something else that comes to mind, Kyle, is, I worked in Vancouver for 10 years in the film business and in the arts, painting murals and doing all sorts of art related stuff in Vancouver. And I was a very small fish in a giant pond. For me, here in Kamloops, I'm a medium-sized fish in a small pond. And so when you look at the income potential and the access to gigs and the ability to meet a significant number of people, I have an advantage here because I grew up here and I know a lot of people here. So when they think of the things that I do, quite often they do think of me and they call me. Yeah. So, there's that too. Kamloops kind of has a size where it's big enough where you can live here and not know anybody, but it's small enough that if you want, you can know everybody here.
Yeah.
So it's kind of right down that middle, which is cool. There's my answer.
Nice.
Awesome. Well,
I kind of lied, actually. I have one more question.
Okay.
Would you continue working on movies here in Kamloops?
Sure. I'd love to swing into action and do a movie every 2 years, something like that. Do 2 or 3 months every 2 years. Yep, absolutely. I would not look down my nose at that at all. I would not do movies full time, I would think. But let me tell you something that I realized, and I did full disclosure. The challenge is that if you don't work in film all the time, you are often parachuted into gigs where you don't know what's going on, and it is very stressful.
Yeah.
Whereas if you work full time on it with a film crew, you know everybody knows you, everybody knows what your parameters and your boundaries, everybody has their own job, everybody knows what to, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So when I do films every 2 years and go, this is a show, it's my own choosing because I am doing a lot of other things. And when someone phones me to do a film, I'm saying, yeah, sure, I'll do that. And, I definitely deliver. But, so I don't know if that makes sense, but I do realize that.
Yeah, I feel you. Like, when you get put into a regular crew and you have to find your place in their culture, and they could have been working for 3 or 4 years together. Yeah. And it gets weird.
Yeah, it does. But after 6 or 8 months and a commitment that you'll be there forever, probably, it just becomes a 9-to-5 job where everybody knows they know that this guy's going to lose it. They know that this guy can be depended on. They know that this guy's going to probably be late. You know what I mean? This guy's a solid rock. That's something to it for sure.
Nice.
Sweet. Well, thanks a lot, Vaughn, for joining us and giving us some inside information on 2012 and your participation, and we really appreciate it. Thank you very much.
No problem. Like I say, I had a small part in that particular film, and it was a great experience.
Awesome.
Because of you guys' invite to do this, I actually watched 2012 again. I did. I was like, oh, this is awesome. I was munching away on my popcorn, and I was taken back. So thank you.
Oh, yeah. When I was watching it for this, I honestly, I thought I disliked it more than I do.
Yeah.
I had fun.
Yeah, me too. It's fun. Yeah. I remember at the time, it's like, oh, everyone's throwing, their popcorn at the screen going, oh, this is over the top. I'm like, this is over the top.
Awesome.
Right on. Thanks,
Awesome.
guys.
Thanks, Vaughn.
Very cool.
All right. Next up are cool facts with Kyle. All right.
Welcome back. It's time for my cool facts, aka Kyle's cool facts.
Nice.
That I steal from the internet.
Nice.
And other people. First up. Though the Mayan calendar, I actually really like this one. Though the Mayan calendar predicted that the world would end on December 21st, filmmakers decided to roll that date back a little bit so that they wouldn't have to dress every set for winter. So that it could be a summer-themed movie.
Interesting.
That saves a lot of time and money.
Sure does.
Yeah. So that's why the whole thing is it's happening too early.
Oh.
Yeah. We weren't expecting it yet. Our projection.
They didn't take leap years into account.
Yeah. No, they're my projections are just wrong. And I also actually like that they own that the science is wrong, because a lot of the times the projections are wrong, and that's fine. It's your best guess with the data available.
It's not a science.
Okay. Moving on. The I can't remember what I was saying. Oh yeah. So yeah, they rolled it back. I can only assume for the financial savings, so that they could spend that $200 million on visual effects, most likely, and actors' salaries.
This movie was $200 million.
$200 million. I'm sad that I said that right away, because up next, they did move it to the midsummer solstice though, so that it was still on a solstice, because that was the whole thing with the Mayan calendar. Also, apparently, the Mayan calendar never intentionally predicted the end of the world. It just ended, and they didn't continue it.
Yeah, I knew that.
And I like to imagine the Mayans giving up work on their calendar, celebrating, and not having a single clue what they caused down the line because they chose to end on that date, which is funny to me. But apparently there are a lot of other myths that came into play and built up this whole idea of gravitational alignment.
Yeah, I have no
I
idea.
think it was.
No.
There's a lot of other myths and pseudoscience that somehow built into the Mayan thing, and it just conglomerated and blew up. And now we have a movie about it.
I bet you flat earthers are behind it.
Maybe flat earthers.
I shouldn't
before
get
it was
into
cool.
that was not smart of me. I apologize.
I can see our comments section now. Moving on. Woody Harrelson's character is potentially loosely based, and definitely loosely, but loosely based on volcanologist David Johnston, and Harry Glicken. David Johnston died at Mount St. Helens and was able to give the final warning, Vancouver, this is it, before he passed away. And Harry Glicken was widely known in the geology community for being extremely disorganized, which meant that he never held a full-time position with the U.S. Geographical Society, I believe it is. Only temporary ones, because he was really good at what he did.
Mm-hmm.
And he unfortunately passed away in a pyroclastic flow on Mount Hunzen.
Oh, I thought you were going to say
Japan.
Dante's Peak.
Not Dante's Peak. Believe it or not L.A. either.
Oh, weird.
Yeah.
The coast is toast.
The coast is toast. Oh man, bringing me back. But yeah, the connection is that Woody Harrelson stays to broadcast the volcanic eruption of Yellowstone, which both of those men did.
Yeah. Why did he do that?
For him,
I'm talking about Woody.
yeah, for Woody, it's because he was crazy.
Yeah.
And that's fine. For the other two, I believe it was a sense of duty. And also,
That I knew.
Mount St. Helens
I
was...
knew the Mount St. Helens one.
Yeah, Mount St. Helens was also
'Cause I was alive
underestimating...
when it happened.
Whew.
Yeah.
You didn't have to say that. But anyway, the Mount St. Helens one, I also believe, was like just an underestimation of exactly how bad that was going to be. But props to... I wanted to include that because props to both those men for giving their life to help save others and warn others.
It's similar to that, and I don't have her name, similar to the Japanese lady during the tsunami.
Yeah.
Yeah, she stayed broadcasting to save potentially thousands, if not more, and it cost her life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So thank you to those people and to everyone who works in that field and doesn't die.
Yes.
Because you shouldn't have to die to get thank yous. Moving on. The watch that John Cusack gives the pilot in order to reserve the plane actually costs about $3,000 US. I would, not when things started going crazy, but I would take that watch at $3,000 and be like, yeah, playing my services, whatever, deal.
Sure.
Because sometimes I see people hand something off in a movie and be like, take this and as payment, and like, it doesn't look worth it. Like, that's a highly trained individual. $3,000 watch, I can get it. I can see it. Yeah. When things started going crazy, though, I would have left. But this pilot unfortunately dies before he gets that chance.
Poor guy.
Poor guy.
Bad writing.
Number 4 on my list of cool facts. This film was banned in North Korea. because 2012 marks the 100th anniversary of the great leader, the first great leader, Il Sung Kim. Many people were arrested for watching bootleg copies of 2012.
Oh, yes. Yes, North Korea.
Get those bootlegs to North Korea. I really respect that the people that, reach out and try and find other medias. Obviously, it's extremely difficult, and I'm sorry that those people were arrested for it because that could not have ended well. But yeah, so they banned it just because of the date and the content.
Wow.
Yeah. Cool fact number 5. Every world leader portrayed in this movie is acted by a human being who has the same ethnicity and gender as their real world counterpart.
Really?
Yeah. So Danny Glover, Barack Obama.
Barack Obama was in power in 2009?
Yeah, wasn't he like 2008?
Yeah, he
Or
would be.
8 years.
Yeah, 2008 to 2016. Okay.
2016, yeah.
Because I was about to call bull poopy on that.
I sensed it,
Yeah.
but it's correct.
That's
you get,
too long ago.
Was that
miss you,
Angela, the German Chancellor, Angela
Merkel.
Merkel? That's right. I wanted to say Merkel. I knew it was wrong. Angela Merkel, her counterpart in this movie. And they also went for people who they were trying to go for someone who actually like physically looked similar too,
Mhm.
like not just any person matching the race and gender. They were trying to be kind of.
Who was our prime minister? Was Canada even mentioned?
I don't think Canada was mentioned in the German Chancellor's speech at the end where she says like Canada, United Kingdom.
we were on
all
there?
these places. I think we were on there.
That was nice.
I think so. Thanks for including us, Hollywood.
Who would have been on there? Wayne Gretzky?
No, that would have been Harper.
Harper was in power? He
Wasn't
must
he?
have been.
2008.
Because he was before Trudeau.
Yeah.
So, wow. All right.
Because Harper was there for 8, right?
I have no idea.
And then Trudeau was there for 8. Carney's been there for 6 months at this point at recording. About.
We don't have a 2-term limit, though.
No, we don't. You can go as long as you get voted.
As long as you get voted in.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, it's definitely Harper.
Yeah.
What Canadians would be on the ark? Who's worthy? That's why I said Gretzky. Gretzky?
They might bring Gretzky for like the genetics thing, just like they might bring pro athletes for that purpose.
Trebek?
Trebek.
Not Michael J. Fox.
The Chris Hadfield, the astronaut.
That's fair.
I think he qualifies.
I'm sure there's tons of Canadians that qualify. I would not qualify.
Probably Margaret Atwood. I wouldn't qualify. No. This podcast, maybe if you guys blow it up, we'll qualify.
That'd be awesome.
Wouldn't
Can
it?
you blow us up so we survive and you die?
No, we'll hold the door for you.
Okay. I'll sacrifice Gordon for you guys.
Yeah. That's not why Gordon died.
I know.
Gordon died because the writers did bad writing.
Interesting.
Yep. Those are my cool facts.
Okay.
That's cool facts with Kyle.
Nice.
Moving on to the small town imprint. Small town impact cinematic imprint.
Yep.
Yes.
Fire away.
So this took place all across the TNRD. Of the films that we covered in season 1, I think this has the widest swath of land use, if that makes sense. We had, you mentioned earlier, we had Ashcroft, Kamloops, obviously, Cache Creek, and you didn't mention, we also had Savinaw. I don't think you said.
It wasn't listed in the credits.
Wasn't listed.
In the credits on IMDb.
Yeah,
It
yeah.
might have been listed in the credits in the film, but not on IMDb.
So I got that information. I forgot to give them the head credit that I usually give them. Thompson Nicola Film Commission. We love you out here. Thank you so much. They provided me with some information again. The whole team there is super helpful.
Awesome.
So Savinaw as well was the point of that. And again, we play as multiple different countries. So you see us as India, you see us as Tibet, you see us as the United States. That actually might be it.
Yep.
But India, the United States, and Tibet all have recurring roles in the movie. It's not like Italy where they cut away and you see it once. Kamloops was a considerable part of this film. So thank you so much for choosing this area, choosing the TNRD, and really making it work. It's proof that it can be done because I think all of it was believable.
Yep.
So come back and do it some more. You get great tax credits.
Yes, please.
Mm-hmm. Filming took place here in September 2008. So if you want to do the math between that and release, I always find that kind of interesting. For something with VFX that heavy, I feel like they cut it kind of close. Because it's September to, what was the release date? December? It's in December, isn't it? 19th? November 13th.
So production wrapped in September of 2008?
I'm not sure if production wrapped. TNRD
Oh,
was September 2008.
okay.
And so I don't know if they went on to do more. I don't know what the deal was. But I still feel like that's cutting it a little close. Even if we imagine, you know, 'cause that's just over a year, like 13 months.
Well,
to
they would
deliver
have
the
started visual effects immediately.
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, they would have started it in pre-production, to be honest. Anyway, though, I always like that kind of stuff, doing that math. The Yellowstone eruption that happens in the film happens at a little place called the Pimple in Lac du Bois, which is a protected grassland north of Kamloops.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. That Lac du Bois exists, or that was...
No, that's where it was filmed.
Oh, yeah.
Sweet.
So that's where I do a lot of hiking in that area. So that was kind of my emotional connection.
So when you go up hiking up there next time, will you reenact Woody Harrelson blowing up?
Sure.
Perfect.
We'll put that right. We'll cut that in here.
Excellent.
Yeah. Oh, I really don't hope I follow through with that.
I really hope you do.
Oh, man. Ooh, that's embarrassing me right now. Props to me if I did it. We'll cut this if I don't.
Okay.
According to the Times Colonist, and this is where the budget stuff comes in, at the time, 2012, going under the alias name Farewell Atlantis, which was the name of John Cusack's character's book in the film, was among the 10 most expensive movies ever made. That list was, at that time, topped by one of the Pirates of the Caribbean films.
Mm-hmm.
But it had a budget of $200 million. This film raked in nearly $800 million.
What?
At worldwide box office.
You don't have to pause me for the worldwide. I am fully aware that would be worldwide.
Domestic was still like 300 and something.
What?
Yeah, no, it was big. It was a lot of money, I believe. Oh, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm conflating it with other research for other movies. But yeah, no, it brought the studio a lot of money. Please check. That being said, a movie that's bringing in $800 million at worldwide box office and is spending $200 million surely spent a ton of money in the Thompson-Nicola Regional District. What did they bring in, Manny?
You're right and wrong.
Okay.
It was just under 800 million worldwide.
Yeah.
It's only 166
Okay.
domestic. I was like, there's no way it's 300 domestic.
I knew I mixed it up with I'm not going to say which movie I mixed it up with. You guys will find out probably next week.
That's fair.
When it drops.
That's right. Okay.
Yeah. So they don't drop all at once. We like to keep them waiting. Yeah. So
What the hell?
kept them waiting.
Gotcha.
Anyway, it's just I unfortunately again don't have an exact figure of the economic impact of this movie in the region, but come on, you can do the math. I mean, even if you just work out 200 million per minute of screen time, it's money. It's a lot of money. Obviously a lot of that money goes to actors. You'd have to subtract that, but we can't do that. We don't have their books.
Yep.
It was a lot of money.
Yeah.
Especially when you're hearing from Vaughn that they have like all of those costumes to break down.
Mm-hmm.
Hundreds. Was it over? How many people was it?
I don't remember.
I wish I could remember right now. Hundreds or roughly 1,000 something. I don't know. It was a lot of people, a lot of costumes.
Also remember that
the progression.
We had another guest for next week who was throwing around the number 150 a lot.
Yeah. One day I'll sort myself out.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, regardless, it's a lot of money. Vaughn did hint at the paycheck size. I love me a good blockbuster film paycheck. I haven't got a blockbuster film paycheck yet. I still love it. I love most film paychecks.
I bet you do.
Yeah. So yeah, no. Yet again, we saw this with Jurassic World Dominion, a movie that's raking in the box office dollars worldwide, is, partially made here. Just saying, there's a correlation.
Just saying.
Yeah. All right, Manny, it's time for us to rate this film.
Mm-hmm.
I'm significantly more curious what you're going to say. So I'll start.
Okay.
Leave them waiting.
All right.
I gave this a 3.
A 3.
A 3.
Okay.
Perfectly enjoyable for me.
All right. I wrestled with this.
I bet you did.
I wrestled hard.
Yeah.
I'm going to say this.
Mm-hmm.
Coming into the podcast, it was a 2.
Okay.
Some of the discussions led me to give it a 3.
Ooh.
I'm ending with a 2. The more I think about it, the choices they made are too unforgivable for me.
You tricked me.
I did.
Yeah, I have to say, honestly, my opinion was higher before we started talking about it as well. Yeah, they really. I wish they had more character.
It's way too long. Way too long.
It is too long.
Way too long.
If you put more character into the movie, that length is okay. There just isn't enough to sustain it.
Whatever.
In my opinion. That's just my opinion.
Okay.
Okay. So that's it.
That wraps up episode 1 of season 2, 2012, in the books.
Welcome back.
Welcome back. All
Very
right,
nice.
social media?
If you would like, and we would appreciate it, you could follow us on Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok at Small Town Big Screen. We're not sure if we're going to keep this one. X/Twitter at STBS_pod. If you'd like to reach out and chat with us, you can find us at smalltownbigscreen.pod@gmail.com or on Reddit at STBS_podcast. With that, that's all. So thank you so much for your continued support and for checking out our new season. Let us know what you think back there. I sense change coming regardless. Going forward, we had a little bit of fun with it. Probably going to continue to do so. But thank you so much. Enjoy your days. For Small Town Big Screen, I'm Kyle Robertson.
And I'm Manny Manuel. Adios.